And good morrow. All right, so where are we at? It's time I record this. It's January, year 2025. This game will have come out 14 days ago. What game is that? Sorry, Alien Rogue Incursion. Hear the tone in my voice. Alien Rogue Incursion. Brilliant game. Okay, there's my biases up front. I'm going to say it. I think this game is wonderful. We're just going to do a short video right now. I'm going to do some gameplay. We're going to try out the new patch. Before we do that, I'm going to spend about 3 minutes talking about the state of where the team are at, Survios, and how they've got a roadmap for patches going ahead, and the things that they're aware of, the things that are coming. But let's just have a quick look at where the game is in the market right now. So it launched with you can't really say a ton of issues, a ton of things that pulled it in a bunch of different directions. And so everybody had a reason to point out a little niggle, and combined, those things individually wouldn't be an issue. But when it seems like there's a wall of noise, that the product isn't perfect, people all sort of write it off. It's like, no, this was great. As a day one game, I would have rated this a 9. And that was on the version 2 patch. That was the launch day patch. I think by that night they had a 3rd patch. I think the next day or the day after they had a 4th patch. And still within that first week, they had a 5th patch. I think they're now up to the 6th patch, right? I actually took a few days off over Christmas after years of game development, right? Good on them. So they've come back renewed, and they were already talking about a roadmap. But let's just look, right on the screen right now, you can see that 4.48 out of 5 stars, right? 825 people have rated that. Now, Behemoth, which is a big budget game by a big studio, lots of money in it, was one of the leading games through this period. It's probably still got less than 1,000 reviews. It's sitting on the same sort of a score. Now, what is 4.48? Well, if you times it by 2 out of 5, take it out of 10, turn it into a standard review score. So it's just south of 9. Now, it isn't. It's 8.96. Now, if you saw someone give a game a review of 8.96, with a rounding error, you'd say it's a 9, right? So 800 people, on average, are rating this 9 out of 10. On average, right? It's such a good game. The launch day was, there were little things there. I found that there was errors in some of the AI code in some of the areas I went. Everyone's aware of the fact that there was a constant respawning, and it took out the biggest mechanic of the game, which is be the mouse. Don't make noise in your environment, right? Play it. So it has some of the best aspects of what was Alien Isolation, which was a survival horror game, arguably. Think of no weapons. Think of one person hiding from a horrible death machine, and it's the movie Alien, right? There was a sequel to the movie Alien. It was called Aliens. And a team of colonial marines were sent in to do warfare with the bugs, right? It's another bug hunt. The difference was lots of weapon, badass, and you go from being prey to being predator. Now, being predator can be fun. You know, it's nice to be super overpowered, but you've got to also give gamers a reason to enjoy, have their heart beat. And so this game has that perfect balance of sometimes, you're conserving your ammo, you're running around, you're being quiet, you're trying to investigate, trying to find out what's going on, and at the same time, you're a badass and you got kick-ass machinery to take these things down. So it's got great scope. Now, look, I haven't finished the game. If I had, I would have access to the insane difficulty level. Now, don't be put off by the name. This game is fun. It is so replayable. I always go back to the definition of Call of Duty, because you always reload your game. Probably just push past the 3-minute lead and not saying we're going to do. Okay, you're going to have to suffer a full 5 minutes as I talk up a game you may or may not know about and you may have come here to learn about. When you play Call of Duty, do you just play your latest save file and push forward? You don't. You go back and you reload key sequences. You have save games all over the place. You go, oh, look, I want to do that section where we're going to defend the tanks, and we're going to be up on the, we're going to, Tekken. Okay, I bought Tekken 3 second-hand 7 days after it came out, and I said to the person in the second-hand shop, who sold it to you? And he's like, oh yeah, a regular. I said, why? Did they not like it? And he said, no, you've finished it. It's like Tekken, it's a beat-em-up game. It's like finishing Street Fighter, right? You put another coin in, you have another crack. This game's like that. You finish it, you play again. So what happens on hard difficulty level? Well, it gets better. What happens on insane difficulty level? Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So, if anyone remembers Aliens versus Predator, made by Rebellion Software in the late 90s, when you went into play as a Claiming Marine and these bugs were just swarming at you from all sides, you had to get your dance on, right? Like if you weren't in the zen of the game, you had a crap session. You'd take 3 of them out and then you'd be dog food, right? But if you're in the zone, you'd take 12 out, 15 out, 20 out, whatever. You just keep going. And what it came down to, it had to be the dance, right? You literally, they're coming at you and your rounds don't stop it. It keeps advancing. And so the amount of times the thing would launch at you, it'd be dead in the air, but acid for blood, you've got to step out of the way. And it really was a case of you be zip and stepping out as it's coming down and then shooting another one and stepping out of the way, and you just had to keep moving. This game has the potential for that. People complain at the moment that everyone wants different things from a software product. So one of the complaints I've seen on it, we're all entitled to opinion, we all have a voice on the internet, is that your rounds don't actually stun them. I find they do. All right, maybe I'm looking down the sides. Okay, it's one of those complex games. Some games, probably push past 5. I'm sorry, 7, and I'll start playing, please. Some gamers don't understand when there's a mechanic where there's number tables. For example, my crosshairs were on them, why didn't I hit them? Right? I moved my mouse, and I got my mouse cursor by the pixel right on their forehead. Yet when I hit the button, that headshot didn't kill them. Okay, well, why? I'll tell you why. Some games, right, they simulate, right? They're a simulator of sorts, and they figure out that if you're moving at like a meter a second, and you're looking sideways and you're moving your handgun, which might have a accuracy range out to say 10 meters or a given distance, and a drop off and all these other little factors going on, and it's got a chance of hitting the target, combined with your skill to stabilize that weapon and your skill to look down the sights and hit your target. All these little things add up. And so in a game like Battlefield, there's options for like holding breath, right? And it's like, I'm a photographer. If you exhale when you're hitting that shutter button, you get a nice stabilizer shot. Sometimes you don't need vibration reduction or shock absorption to stabilize your lens. You know, if you set your shutter speed right and you do everything right, but you learn your breath work, you learn how to squeeze, not yank. And this game has a whole bunch of mechanics where you can shoulder your weapon, and they're nice enough to give you feedback. There's 3 little lights on your sights of the gun, and they go from, I think it's red to yellow to green. Okay, so they're nice enough to even tell you there's 3 stages, okay? Chances are the accuracy that you do, the damage you do, is dependent on that. If people were actually talking about this game, rather than trying to create flavourful discussions of my Ninja PC doesn't run it, but they do. I read tons of forums on this, right? Like, there was some issues with the front ends. Some of the methods that the different systems used to offer their window to the game world wasn't the game. It's the ancillary software that comes with running PC platform stuff. And the developers were on it, right? They in the latest patch, it might have been 2 patches ago, no, latest patch, they'd sorted out both those front ends so that everyone's performance should be back where it should be. And from what I can see, like this is a team doing the due diligence, and just it doesn't matter if we raise the question, right? Instead of, I've got an issue with you, but instead of telling you, I'm going to go and tell 10 other people, right? Like, instead of doing that, Survios, they're in Reddit, they're everywhere. Alex Sulkin, I think you'll find, is the man. These people are reaching out to their community. They like their community. They're doing the due diligence. They keep serving us. They keep delivering us an upgraded product, and they've got plans to keep it going. So at this point in time, when people raise or address any issue in the game with them, they're on it. And for that reason, they've got a roadmap, and they're going to announce their roadmap shortly. It'll probably talk about the various things that are coming to the game. But I've seen a lot of software companies that drop a product and then do nothing. And then a few people whinge about the quality of the graphics. They just yank the quality of the graphics down so nobody can whinge. And then they move on. They don't restore them. They don't do anything else. They move on. They've already got your cash. They move on. This is not this team. Survios know that this software is going to be around for a long time. They have reason to optimize it across all the platforms. They do have limited resources. So in the very short period since they've launched it, hasn't been out a month. It's been out half a month. Don't think so. Maybe it's approaching half a month. I don't know. Yeah, look, they've got plans, right? Like, believe it or not, it was a busy time of year. After years of games development, sometimes you just want to take a few days break. The fact that they had those first 5 patches, arguably, in the launch week prior to that, and they're still coming out. You know, here we are in January. They're just like, here's our first patch, but later in January we're going to release our plans and more patches. But the patches are inbound. So based on the state of the product right now, and it's a 9 out of 10 as voted by 800 odd people, right? Like, it's pretty good statistics. So the thing is, these people are happy using the product. They're not out telling people how uncomfortable it is. Here we are, 10 minutes. Apologies. So, is it worth getting at the state that it's currently in? Yes, absolutely. It is. It's an intact game. It's fantastic. I'm more than happy to restart the game and restart the game and restart the game and do key sequences and really thoroughly enjoy them because of the enemy AI, the dynamism in the game. It's just like it's the perfect arcade blast, right? It's sort of what we're after. But look, I want to play. It's my game time, and I'm going to get in and have some fun. So I do recommend, if you've got the ability to put this game on your system and run it, please do. It's, of all the games I've played on this platform, this is my favourite banner. Pistol Whip's a lot of fun, Synth Rider's a lot of fun, Legendary Tales is a concept of something I always wanted and thoroughly enjoy. But in terms of hours of engagement, anyone that says this game's got a finite number of hours, yeah, sure, so did Tekken, right? Put another $1 in, play, right? It's not game over, man, game over. It's let's do it again. And you want to see it, you want to test it, you want to see, where they're going to come from next time. If I shoot them there, how quick do they stop? How can I conserve my ammo? For me, my little mini game is how many rounds do I have to expend to take one down, right? And so every time I take one down, if I look at my clip, and from 99 I'm down at 65, I'm like, whoa, I'm almost at the point of taking out 3 Xenos per magazine. That'd be awesome. All right, so it's a lot of fun. Highly recommended, and I'd say seriously consider investigating it. It's absolutely worthwhile. Any issues that you could possibly come up with, experience it for yourself. Contact Survios. They respond, right? Like they literally are contactable. They're real people. They're not hidden behind a wall and uncontactable. They totally want to know about your experience, and they want to make sure that you are getting everything from the product they've made for you. They're not amateur hour, they're not newbies, right? They've made so many products on Unreal Engine for this platform, and it shows. This is literally the best game I have for the platform. All right, so look, I should be ready to go right about now. We'll find out in a second if I can just hit the play button and it all just works out. Oh, look, I'm reaching blind without my see-through mode. Duka, and ka-ching. I've done things right. We've got sound. I've already used this SPL meter to set the level of the speakers to 60 dB, which means if I talk fairly normally, my voice blends in fairly well with the recording. Because there's not really any echo in my room, I clap my hands so you can hear an echo, but they're full. What you'll find, I'm encoding, the music that you're going to hear through the speakers is the same feed as what I get to my headphones. It's got the HRTFs, or the headphone surround, encoded to it. So if you play this video feedback through your headphones, arguably studio flatline headphones, you will be able to appreciate surround sound. So just highly recommend this one. It's if it's not on your radar and you weren't aware of it, it's like, oh my lord, it justifies having one of these platforms. Based on this game alone, I would buy into this platform. If I had no other software, it would be justified. Like, I would have gotten value out of the headset. I mean, at the price they're currently at, they're quite cheap. So, the biggest problem I have when I play is my awareness of the room that I'm in gets completely lost. It's the only game I've got on the system. Legendary Tales, sometimes if I played for an hour or two multiplayer and got caught up in chatting with the teammates, I'd sometimes forget or lose track of where I was in the room. This game, it takes less than 2 minutes. Basically, any encounter with a Xeno, I lose track. Now, what you might see is 3 things you're going to notice when I play is that I've got the vignette on when I do fast moving, and I do snap turn. Now, it's awesome. If you just pull down on your joystick, you look behind you, right? I like it. I like the snap turn. It just allows me precision. I set it to 30-degree increments. You'll actually find most of the time I'm turning, and that's why you're going to see that I lose track of where I am in my room. Now, anyone that says this game's in repro, it's not worth playing on the console, it's got a magic version of reprojection where a technologist like myself who knows, it pulls games apart and knows, you know, oh, look at the blah, 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 the anti-aliasing levels are set too high, or you know, blah, you know, I love to pull games apart for the technicalities of them, and I will not play just about any game using reprojection with the exception of the upgraded version of Gran Turismo, the upgraded version of reprojection. And then I basically played it for the first time. I didn't like wide banking corners. If I looked outside of my car, I was like, yuck. So why am I vignetic? Why am I using snap turn? It actually comes down to the addictiveness of this game. I want more hours of gameplay per day, and I don't want to do anything to myself that might limit the amount of time I can spend or actually enjoy playing this game. So, highly recommend it. I consider it a perfect tech demo experience. I've not played anything. I haven't seen many things this good. Shikes. Alright, so proof of the pudding in the eating. So tough. Alright, so normally I don't look down to my belt to grab my bits and pieces. There is a menu setting where you can just go in and change your belt points, where all your weapons are. One of the things they updated since launch, I think it was about the third or fourth patch, was they changed the belt points. They actually, the settings they then moved to as defaults, 80% of those settings were exactly where I'd moved them to. So, again, it's just all part of their refinement. Like here, I've never seen a clipping texture like this. This is new to the current patch, as well as the lines on the wall that will happen as I walk closer over here. They popped in there, they'll pop in there. That's happened with the current patch, right? But that also shows, as much as you go, oh, that sucks. No, it shows the level of refinement they're willing to put in, daily to try and streamline a game and make it better. So, if you're afraid that the performance of the game isn't going to net you what you're after right now, pretty confident it will very shortly. And regarding my leg spots, you'll see me miss my gun or have to look down to draw. I could just go to the menu. It would take less than 10 seconds to change my spots. But I often like to run defaults, just to try and understand what the experiences are that other people might be getting. Now, if you look down my sights, see how there's green dots on my... When I look down the sights, and if I move it away from my head, see how they're red now? And then if I move it a little bit, pretty sure there's a stage of orange in between. Oh, okay, red. And then if you brace your gun, it's literally telling you got more chance of hurting. So it's a bit fourth wall. There's no real world mechanic that's going to know how accurate you're going to be in the real world. But the game is good enough with these little lights. Instead of having a head-up display saying, your accuracy just went up a little bit or something, the feedback is all real world. Right? That's why everything's interactive, everything's real. Okay, so I'm hearing movement. And this is the issue at the moment. They're going to fix, I think, with the next patch, the frequency of the spawns. And they do say in this early part of the game, it eases off maybe later, but at the moment, for a lot of people, this is... Oh, I'm sure that, mate. That's doggy style right there. They're saying at the moment that it's an issue, they know about it, but with the next patch, or very shortly, it'll be fixed. So, what I find, a lot of games won't do it. If you play a lot of games on this platform, you won't have legs, right? The reason you're a floating torso is this notion of inverse kinesiology, I think it is, where they can essentially track your body based on your upper torso movements. They know the logistics of how a human body's bone structure works. A little bit of math, but we've all got 16 cores of CPU to play with nowadays, so you can do that sort of stuff. And if your lower half, right, so all my other targets work spot on, but the body spots for picking up ammo clips and my handgun are attached to my legs. So if I pivot and my legs are facing a different direction, that's the only time, if I just blindly reach down for my handgun, that it may or may not be exactly where I'm expecting it to be. So it is, with a little bit of configuration, you make the game perfect. Okay, so I get the feeling I've completely turned around. Normally when I'm playing, I don't have to, check where I'm at. because I'm doing a video feed and I want people at home to be able to see me a little bit, I kind of want to stay in the middle. Otherwise, I just trust on the headset's ability to draw a safe boundary around me, so I know, okay, move back to center. Any difficulties you see based on this video aren't real if I'm not, I guess, doing it for the internet.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's good with good open back headphones. You hear the immersive nature of this.
Couple mags left.
Oh man. Oh, wicked. So, yeah, a fully immersive interactive world is just awesome. Can't even begin to say how wonderful this game is to play.
Sorry, I need to borrow this.
So we're fairly early in the game, not that many minutes at all. Forward grab from the leg. Okay, what I'm going to do now, money where my mouth is, options, right? I think it's under accessibility. I think it was under controls. It was a second, there we go, body slots. No, calibrate, there we go. And you can change every bit, right? So here where my chest is, there's a little bubble where I can drop things off at. You can change the width of it, you can change the depth of it. So I found just by moving it a little bit, but I don't have a big like chest, right? A child and like a gorilla. So I've lowered that in a little bit. But the width, if you want to make it easier or smaller, you can. If you find that you're trying to reach for your motion tracker and you keep, grabbing other things, you just change the locations. So for my hips, right? See, I've set height -1. That's probably putting me off a bit. Let's have a look. No, I'm going to go height -7. That's why I keep missing. Okay. Yeah, that's where my holster would be, and I'm going to bring it in a little bit. See how I moved it from normal? That was actually +1. And that's the main reason why I was just constantly missing. See now, even if I pivot, the area is pretty consistent. So I might even, normally I had it at -1. I just found I could punch my leg and I'd always hit it. So that works, I like that. I'll give that a try. Depth, I wonder if I move that forward, is that? Yeah, so I probably want to go -2 there. Oh, brilliant. I bet you I don't miss it there. So it didn't take long, and you set it up once, and you never think about it again. With the exception of the third patch, they changed the locations to basically be where they are now. All the zeros are just better now than they were on launch. So yeah, the constant work that is done on this product. On launch, I would have rated it 9 out of 10. Now, you could say I'm a fan. Again, right. My situational awareness fan, that's off to the side, usually would give me bearings to where I'm at. But this game is too good. Too good. So what I was saying, we're fairly early in the game. If you're afraid that I'm going to reveal anything, you're going to see. I choose this sequence because
now verifying biometrics.
You probably have seen it. This is less than half an hour in the game.
Vital signs abnormal or
People are going
absent. Medical and security
to make
teams
this section.
report to traffic control office immediately. Go.
And the AI has gone up so much. Their ability to move around is getting more dynamic. And any gamer that figures out safe spots in the game, like exploits, they're keen to bit by bit remove exploits so that the dynamism of the game stays up. Shots! And the new patch does that. They now, like the killing, the death machines that they are, when they come at you in the air, they use their flexible bodies. They flip tails or they do whatever. They don't just come at you a straight line. They come at you a straight line and they can really go for the kill, right? So it's just becoming a better game constantly. And remember, it's sitting at 9 out of 10 now, so buy it. You know, don't miss out. It's a good game. There's no point saving money when there's a game like this out there that you could be playing. You actually save money by buying it because you don't need to buy a bunch of other games. Alright, so I'm in a bit of trouble here, I think. So I got a bit sidetracked. I wanted to talk about something else, but it's the beauty of this game is you actually want to play it. And he's obviously right underneath the floor there. Come at me. Oh, this is good. So yeah, the AI's gone up so much. Like it's a way more difficult game with the latest patch. A lot of fun. If more games were made like this, the platform would be the leading platform. People would game constantly. Okay, music good. It's good, dude. There it is. Hey, mate, not half hurt, so bye. See how interactive with the box? Like, we just don't get games that do this. I don't know if all gamers understand how complex it gets to do interactive world physics. Like, it really is mathematically just a nightmare. Most devs don't want to do it. Most physics effects in games will just clear off the screen straight away because the burden to memory and CPU is just too much. And the standard gaming machine, the higher the requirements you make, the less people can play your game. Most developers just want to sell to more people. So it's really brave when someone says, no, we want the proper high-end cinematic experience. We set the cutoff of it's got to be awesome. And then we continue to do the work, so we deliver on it. Like, these guys are the masters of their art. Okay, there's one just out there. I can make a run for the save point right behind me. Okay, my tracker's shut down. I can see the green dot on the screen though. Okay, so that's the sound thing. It cuts the sound off. See how it's no longer pulsing? Oh no, it is pulsing. But I've noticed that before with the mist. If you cut into this room, it cuts out. So that'll just be one of the little things that the art team will get on top of. At the moment, they're working on performance. Eventually, they'll work on every little thing that stops the suspension of disbelief. You know they're going to do it. They're going to also release it on Quest. We know that Quest is like the leading VR platform on the planet. On a year where they didn't launch any new hardware, the VR market grew 10%. When the predictions were it's going to keep recessing, it turned around in the last 12 months. People might not have been expecting that, but basically these guys have got a solid future with this software, and as a team goes, they're doing the work. Now, apologies, I'm trying out a different headset today. Oh, damn it. Okay, so look, I'll just get my bearing again. So for me, it doesn't matter, right? If I was playing by myself, I'd just keep playing. I'd play for 40 minutes, 50 minutes until I go down. But when I'm recording, I guess I want to project my voice forward towards where the microphones are. Yes, there's a microphone near my mouth, but it's not wide up to anything.
This is it.
Okay, 82 rounds. So at this point, I'm going to save that for up close and comfortable or uncomfortable emergencies. Okay, I can hear them rattling around. I love this game. It's so good. Running there, I needed it, I really needed it. Okay, so previously I've tested out my little hiding hole here. Okay, need that. Yes. Okay, I'm going to have to do these with handguns. I'm going to have to be really good with my shots because I've only got 72 rounds on the pulse rifle. Oh, they're both coming at me at the same time. Shit. Quick with the... Okay, so my leg spot didn't line up. Okay, had to pull down a bit further. Oh, going to empty them out first. Don't. Flick it in. Back, right, flick it out, flick it out, flick it in. Flick it in. Right, so the music's still going indicates to me that, like a Call of Duty sequence, right? Just imagine I'm going to hold the spot. But this is me making it the mini game I want to make it. I could be trying to progress through the level. Now, if I don't make sound, they get bored and they give up on me.
Empty.
Shit. Okay.
Almost out.
Ah!
I'm dry.
Ah! That's it! I'm out! No! Ah! Ah! What have I got? No! Ah! That's it. Next time they just walk straight in.
One left.
4. Oh, I'll be able to take 1. Okay, but screw the motion detector. It doesn't matter. I'm dead anyway. It's going to run. Try and make the next spot. Ah. Oh, there's one behind me. Oh shit, I'd have to hack that in order to get in there. Oh no, it's in here. Oh. Screw that. Give me that. Run. Okay, so by making my checkpoint... Oh, okay. Empty. Yeah, okay, so... Oh, that's a lot of fun. Okay, by making that checkpoint, when I come back in, I can re-raid those lockers. I'll get possibly 2 clips, possibly 4 clips, maybe a couple of health stims. And progress is made, right? So some people aren't into the rogue type games. The fact that it's got rogue in the name kind of makes people go, oh, is it a rogue? Oh, I love my rogue games, but yeah, you make progress. Like just then I made it back to that safe room, right? So I'll get a few more clips. I'll keep making progress. Oh, the game's fun. Can't even begin to say how fun it is. It's, oh, I guess I can. I just did. And if it would be verbal diarrhea, I would just keep talking about it. There are so many little mechanics in this game I could rave about. A good developer knows that there's a spectrum of people out there that all seek different things in an entertainment product. Survios have been making games across a range of gameplay styles for quite a while, and a lot of them are really well reviewed and rated, and it's because the passion and the love of the team for gaming, right? Irrelevant if the name of the game is a game that you're into, right? Like, the games they make are good, right? When Tony Hawk's is pitched to the world and everyone goes, no, people, not enough people skate, right? Like, sorry, Neversoft, we're not going to make your game. It's too niche, right? It sells really well, and everyone's like, oh, we're going to make a skate game, People, this game is somewhat unique. Now, does it hold its own in the market? Yes, okay. I don't like claustrophobic spaces, and I do not play survival horror games, which 70% of this platform, the software is all survival horror games, right? Like, I played the demo of Resident Evil, sure, I loved pulling a flashlight out from my jacket, right? I really am into the interactive immersion concept. But for someone who's not into this type of game, I'll put this game on, I'll put it in the hardest difficulty, and I'll enjoy running around and just gunning stuff down and having lots of fun. Now, that being said, I don't think I can do hardest difficulty anymore. Oh, I probably can. I have to incrementally, Gridiron, it's a game of yards played out over inches. That's what I'm now doing. It's like, yeah, got to make it to the next room, save. Did it, yeah, checkpoint made, inches made. Look, the checkpoint system is a gameplay hook. Okay, so this links back to what I was saying. This is a team that knows what they're doing. They know how to create fun. They know how to create replayability. People say an antiquated save system like Resident Evil in the 90s, right? it wasn't. It was an antiquated save system then, you could argue, right? Like it was a gameplay hook then. If you played Resident Evil 1 on the original PlayStation, you'd walk around a mansion. Every so often you'd get two little ink ribbons. And then if you could find a typewriter, you could use one of the two ink ribbons you found to save your game. And because you can find ink ribbons that often, you had to make a decision. How important is it for me to save my game now? Have I made enough incremental progress that I'd be really sad if I lost it? In this game, which has a really good balanced resource management, instead of just overpowering every player, right? That's easy review scores. If you make a game like this, make people feel badass and give them so much ammo, everyone will blow through it in 5 to 10 hours. And because there's no challenge, there's no interest to come back and replay it. It's like, yeah, it's a one and done, right? But if you're a master at your craft and you know, and you do a lot of market research, you have game development test teams, and you figure out, okay, how hard is it to actually do this sequence? How much ammo do we have to give you? We randomise that a little bit. We know that your play experience will constantly change up, right? They're doing that. Well, they've done that. And so you've got to make this decision in the game quite often. Like, do I walk back a few steps and save my progress incrementally, but I'm going to use up my precious resources to hold my ground while I do that? Or do I push forward into the new area with all the stuff I've got on me, with the risk that because it's a new area, I don't really know what I'm doing. The chances of me going down, is higher. And so you as a player get to use your own volition, your own decision to, do I want to push forward or do I want a game of inches? I'll push back. I'll save just here. So just like I did then, I was like, I got four left. Okay, look, if I make that safe room, incremental growth done, right? So just then, incremental growth done. If I was to restart the game, I think we'll find that the safe room, I don't know if the door will be closed, but I should come back in there. I don't know, I haven't played this since the new patch. I don't know what's going to happen. If I'm going to reload, there's going to be two Xenos right at the door with me with no clips. And it'll just be like, all those action movies where you see the gun between the hero and the villain, and it's the equal distance, and they've got to make a decision. What are we going to do? We're going to run for it. My favourite sequence is Timothy Oliphant in Justified. There's a scene where he uses a tablecloth very, very effectively when reaching for the middle of the table, if you will. Sorry if that's a spoiler. It's fun. It's fun watching that moment where people are going to make that run and that dive. And I tell you, if I come back in and there's ammo clips in the cupboards between me and the enemy, that seems fun. It is fun. You don't care if you make progress. It's an arcade game. Put another $1 in, you have another go, right? It is. C&VG magazine in the 80s, I think it was, they used to always have a comic joke or a comic frame at the end of the magazine, and it'd be a lift from a movie, and they'd put a couple of speech bubbles over the actors. And I think, is it Hicks who goes, "Oh, game over, man, it's game over," right? They're out in the middle of the wilds. They know that the Xenos are there. They know everything. It's a train wreck, right? Everyone describes the movie Aliens as it's just a train wreck, right? Things go from bad to worse. And so, yeah, there's that famous line. I think it was improv, actually. I don't know if it's scripted. They just put it in, right? And you've got to watch the extended version. If you're going to watch Aliens, anytime I watch it and it's not the extended version, you're like, where's the sequence with the auto-sentry guns? Where's the sequence with Hadley's Hope and Newt and the family at the start, setting up the story? Like, it's a longer movie, a special edition, but it's the movie you want to watch. That's a great movie. And if you're going to play this game, forget Alien. That's Isolation, right? If you want to play Rogue Incursion as a movie, that's the movie Aliens. One of the greatest movies of all time, I reckon. It was in the 90s. It was in my top 5. Right? There's Amelie, American Beauty, Aliens, right? Like, whoa. That's in the age, you could say. But no, if I had 5 favourite movies, like, and this is it. This pushes on from the stories of the comics, right? There's all these people out there that are saying, almost like it's woke, right? Like, you've chosen the main character for whatever reasons and stuff. It's like, no, man, like, it's not established canon yet, right? So the story of Alien Isolation is established canon for the universe. It's been Dark Horse made all these comics in the 90s, and so the characters in this is legitimate, and all their relations with people on, Amanda Ripley and whatnot, it's all canon. It's all the same timeline. It's the same universe. It's all happening. It's all legit. It's all got history, right? It's not just been written. Well, this is the closing act maybe of Xena's story. Who knows? But look, it's a deep world. It's an immersive world. You can play this game any which way you want. There's lots of little bits of cheese. If you want to, I see people like with the current break where they just keep respawning it. One of the greatest mechanics of the game, which is you want to find out the story of this place, what happened here. And you can do it by finding out the staff of the facility and reading all their emails back and forth to each other. And kind of as things were playing out over time, you kind of figure out what happened, right? So people want to do that, right? And arguably, I say that's in the replayability. But the first time you play it, you might just want to treat it like an arcade game. Find out, maybe, some of the map, the locations, and learn the game world a bit. But when you're ready for it, yeah, by all means, go and get deep into learning about the emails and the messages and what was really happening here. And at this moment, yeah, if you demanded on reading every single terminal and spending the time reading the emails, right, you're probably going to run short on clips. If you're playing it on hard, yeah, sure. So, maybe over several gaming sessions, spread out the reading of those messages, or maybe, over different games. You got several saves. I like to keep them in parallel. I just like Call of Duty. I like having the ability to load up and play key sequences. It is that type of game. So anyone out there that says it's got 9 hours in it, right, they might have been the person who bought Tekken and took it back to the shop a week after they bought it and told the person at the shop, I finished it. Done. And then they sell it on, right? Like, I won't be done with this anytime shortly. If I get to the end, awesome, unlock insane difficulty, and those things will just keep jumping at me and going past me, right? You don't care. Once you clock the game, you don't care if you finish it again. Just the replayability, go back, do key sequences, be the badass. So even if this game never got another patch, if it existed as it is right now, it would be the best purchase I've ever made on this platform. Given the rate of updates they're doing and the fact the wages are still going into this product, right? The team is still active. They are literally trying to work with the community, trying to do everything they can to improve the current product, right? Not the, like Warner with Hogwarts, right? The dirtiest thing you'll ever see, which is, oh yeah, PC version's out, yeah, now we're working on the Switch version. Oh yeah, PC version's had all these issues for like a year, but the new Warner Brothers game's coming out. It's another Harry Potter themed game, Quidditch. And we know that we're shooting fish in a barrel. There's only a finite number of people that are going to play Hogwarts type games. So now we need to stop everybody playing Hogwarts Legacy. So, and because Quidditch launches next week, so we're going to put out a hotfix patch on the PC for Hogwarts Legacy. We're going to curtail the use of 3 gigabytes of your VRAM. We're going to make it so that the game all of a sudden is janky and juddery as hell and is basically broken, so that you move on from it, right? Like some developers are like that. They're bricks. But the real issue with Hogwarts was that they left things broken for a year. They didn't care. They didn't care if you had flickering textures on the ground. They didn't care about any of that stuff. Right? Technically, they got your money, and they moved on to selling it again to someone else. Survios aren't that, right? You tell a shitty story, everyone feels shitty. Don't connect the dirtiness of a big company like Warner that's all about just the money with Survios that are all about the customer support, right? There's so few companies that do that. So everyone's hesitant to buy a game on launch if it's got any sign of a glitch in it. The argument is, finish your game, finish making it before you launch it. It's like, yeah, no, this game is polished. This game was worthy, and it should have sold when it sold. It was a great time. Absolutely still is, right? It's a great time. If it gets better, wow, but it doesn't need to, right? Already, everyone seems to be voting at basically 9 out of 10 on average, right? So, look, the PC platform is getting the love. It looks like the Survios team don't just work on one product at a time. They are working on them in parallel. The needs of the PC, the needs of the console. When you streamline for one system, you learn tricks you can take to the other. The issues with the PC, though, isn't necessarily the performance. You got to remember the PCs are not doing the reprojection that the console is doing. The console's got a lot of tricks in hardware, and it all works. But the PC version, you can brute force just crazy amounts of everything. And my experience of VR on the PC, when I first hooked up my second VR unit to the PC, it was doubling the resolution of the render, even twice what the screen resolution was, which was now twice the resolution of my previous VR headset. And basically it was rendering at 4 times the resolution of the screen. Now everything looked really sharp, but it also dropped my frame rate down to bugger all. And when you're trying to do 2 screens at high frame rate, and you've got all these hidden little settings that they really are. They're buried in a menu, in a menu, in a menu. They're not in your game. They're in a platform setup menu. And if you don't understand the difference between like 1.2 and 1.3 is that significant? It's like, yeah, it's significant. It's like, oh, it doesn't sound like much, it's a decimal point, right? Oh, okay. This game is rated 8.98. Isn't that what we saw, right? Sorry, it's 4.48, right? And you double that, that becomes 8.96, right? 2 decimal places is 6, that's a rounding up, so that moves the first decimal place from a 9, that goes up. So if a 9 goes up, it becomes a 0, and the number in front of it goes up 1. Yeah, we all know math, right? So this game is a 9, right? And it's a 0.02 rounding error. Not much. So yeah, look, it's a 9 out of 10. It's rated by so many people. I'd recommend it. The team are going to polish it. If you're afraid the issue is with your machine or with the game, right, I assure you, if the problem is with the game, it'll get fixed. If the problem is with your machine, discussions over the next few weeks. Once the game's fixed, then all the people that are just getting on the bandwagon of, oh, I know that too. Yeah, I'm saying the same thing as everyone else, right? Once the leaders of the pack drop off and go, oh no, it's actually working now. After that patch, it's all fine. And then people go, well, it's still broken on my machine. And that's when they actually investigate the issues and they find out, oh, it was a setting on my machine that was making me publicly denounce a really perfect piece of software. So of course I can't say that I don't know for a fact. I'm not actually in that ecosystem at this point in time. Can be, thought about it, nearly went down that pathway. Opted just for the consoles because I must admit I don't do a lot of gaming. And with getting all the games I wanted in the last few months, I love putting my time in Dragon's Dogma and stuff, and Dragon Age or something. I would put a lot of time into those types of games. And I've put way more time into this game, sadly, over the last couple of weeks, with no interest in playing anything else. So, yeah, take that as you might. I'm not someone that even plays on this platform much, but as I say, it's the first game I've ever played with Snap Turn. It's the first game I've ever played with Big Netting, right? Why do I do that? I just want to be able to play it for more time each day. I don't know if you consider that a positive review, more than me giving a number score. Just read my smile, hear my tone of voice. I'd say this is a must buy. And yeah, I'm not trying to twist your arm to make you spend money that you don't think someone deserves. But Survios would be the most deserving software team, and they're not selling this for a premium price point. Okay, this is so worth it. So yeah, if you're looking for media to consume, if you're looking for reasons to throw your headset on, this is it. Jump in now, right? Even if the price dropped down by 50%, right? If you wait a year for it, it goes on sale, or you wait for the biggest ever sale and you save $20, right? I don't know what you spent on arcade games when you were young, but if I went to the arcade with less than $20 in the 90s, that'd be just about enough in the early 90s to get me out of trouble. When you got 3 games for $1, yeah, okay, maybe. In the 80s, yeah, about $10, right? I remember when arcade games were like 10 and 20 cents a pop, right? So in Australian money, that's kind of significant, right? So nowadays an arcade game's probably $2 or something, and that's for a boring one. If you want to get on something that's a bit of a simulator, you're probably paying more than that. So would you, for the cost of 4 cracks in a simulator arcade game, you get to play for an hour out in public, touching other people's bits of equipment and stuff, and you're having a really short experience? No, man, take it home, own it, right? For the cost of a couple of drinks, have the game now, play it now, because over the course of the next year, you're going to put in more than a few hours. You're going to go, oh man, that's the best value. In terms of dollars per hour, it's less than $1 per hour. And like, so anyone saying is however many hours of campaign, again, they're the sort of people that finished Tekken and just went, a fight game, got to the end, just beat the end guy, and maybe did it with every character in the game, did the whole character roster. But then there's other people out there that buy a beat-em-up game so that you come home from the pub or something with your mates and you play competitive. You keep playing it, That's this game. That was Call of Duty, those little action sequences, you save games in different spots, right? You keep playing it. It's the perfect arcade game. And it's got all the interactivity going on. Everyone's like, oh, we want another Half-Life Alyx. Well, you got one. And it's even better. Somebody's paid the intellectual property rights to have all the iconic sounds and all the movie effects. And Survios have come up with some really clever ways to make your hardware deliver more than it can actually do. So trust me when I say, when this game is working, it will astound. It'll just astound. Right? It really is the game that makes people just, their jaws drop. And they go, yeah, okay, I can see why. You've justified the money on that build. I can see why you did it. This is awesome. Tell me where do I sign up? So yeah, if you want to be a Colonial Marine, you can do it right now. Alien Rogue Incursion by Survios came out right before Christmas. It's available on a platform near you and coming to Quest later this year. Okay, well wishes with. I'll see you in another one.